What's going on, everyone? It's Bray with JACOJE Fine Jewelry, your personal jeweler. In this video, we're talking about everyday or starter bracelets to wear. With that being said, let's get started. In this video, I'm featuring the 2.5mm through 4mm Miami Cuban link bracelet, as well as the 4mm through 5.5mm flat curve bracelet. Across the screen, you guys will see the side-by-sides of each. Different looks as well as weights for them. It depends on what you're looking for, but let's see these around the wrist. Now, to start us out, let's focus on the Miami Cuban links because everybody loves Miami Cuban links. We have the small size 2.5mm. There's not much there. Of course, it being a Miami Cuban link, a JACOJE bracelet is durable, high quality as they come. It's just the size is not there. You're gonna pay for what you get. It's very small around my wrist. I personally wouldn't wear a 2.5mm Miami Cuban link. Maybe 10 years ago when I was starting out and excited about gold, I would, but not today. I recommend that for a super starter or female size would be a good size. It's worth it to look at the next size up, which would be the 3.2mm Miami Cuban link. A little more size, is still very subtle, and it really depends on what you're looking for as far as a daily wear or a starter bracelet. The 3.2 is good, and then next, my most popular Miami Cuban link bracelet is the 4mm because I feel like that is now entering the true starter size. It is still very small. 4mm is not a lot of size. I'll side-by-side it with the 4mm flat curve so you guys can see, both being 4mm. The Miami is nearly double the weight, so you could almost get a 2-for-1 with a 4mm flat curve. Of course, you have a tight link. You have a nice rich gold color. So you have all the bells and whistles with these Miami Cuban links. They're just heavy. So when you go with like a 4mm size, you gotta think of a subtle look, but as well as the weight is there, 10 plus grams, which is nice compared to the flat curve. Speaking of flat curves, here's the 4mm around the wrist. Very popular size. The 4mm, no matter what we're talking about, change of bracelet, is probably my most popular size. Again, expect the subtle, but for the gram weight, it's a very nice bracelet. Next up is the 4.5mm. Again, when comparing 0.5 millimeters and millimeters, I don't care what we're talking about. Every 0.5 millimeter, every millimeter makes a big difference. The 4.5mm around my wrist. And then you have my favorite, the 5.5mm. I say that because the 5.5mm is around my wrist Monday through Friday. That's my everyday bracelet. When it's the weekend, it's a whole different story. I put a little bit more weight, a little bit more presence around the wrist, but when I'm working hard, when I'm doing stuff, I definitely need the gold around my wrist. The 5.5mm does that for me. I'll recommend 5.5mm to anyone. For the everyday size, it has that extra 1.5mm compared to like a 4mm to stand out. And what I love about the flat curves is they always stay shiny. They're like, I don't know what it is about them. They don't get that dirty, very easy to clean. So of course, I'm gonna recommend flat curves, but it depends on your budget and overall look. But as far as the shine goes, the flat curves are unmatched. I just realized this turned into like a comparison between flat curves and Miamis. That's not what I really wanted to accomplish in this video. I wanted it to be more for you guys to see the actual sizes or bracelets around my wrist and the side-by-sides to determine. Remember, these bracelets look bigger on camera. That's why I recommend going up a little bit if you can, or saving up. It just depends. And the good thing about bracelets, or what I like to do, is get a simple. So if you go with like a 4mm, either whatever bracelet you get, you could always get it, wear it, and then stack it, add a two bracelets. I was about to say 2 chains, same thing. 2 bracelets around the wrist and get a cool look. I like to do this as well, and it does not matter what style it is. It works because it's just kind of double wrapped. It's all high quality. Make sure you get that quality gold. I can't tell you guys, 14 karat versus 14 karat, it really depends on where you're getting it because there's different qualities. You want that shine because it helps the overall presence when wearing it. So adding double bracelets, it's a good feature. You just get something simple now, and then in a few months or year, whatever, you add to it, and all of a sudden you got more gold presence around the wrist. One last look at all these beautiful bracelets, and don't overthink the situation or make it complicated on yourself. These bracelets do look bigger on camera. You're not gonna get the 3mm and be like, well, this is way too big. They're all very simple, everyday starter bracelets. That's the whole theme of this video, something you could throw on and eventually stack with. I personally go with the 5.5 bracelet, like I said, and usually I recommend going a little bit bigger on the wrist as far as the width, but for my everyday size, the 5.5 works around the neck and it works around the wrist. I don't really know it's there, but I have to have the gold around the wrist. when I go out or the weekends, I definitely need something bigger, a bigger presence around the wrist. But also the option to stack another bracelet is great. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll just have the 5.5 flat curve and I'll throw a rope chain with it, and now all of a sudden I have more gold presence. So if you get like a 4mm flat curve, you're like, oh, this is a little small, you wear it, just know the option to add another bracelet to that and stack them is a definitely great look. I have a featured here, the 4mm flat curve and 4mm Miami Cuban link. You guys could see it definitely looks good. It has the presence that you want when just kind of wearing it and trying to flex a little bit. So it's all fun stuff, mix and match. Go on the website, see what works best for you. I recommend going up a size just because of the situation. And then usually that works out for most people. Let me know down below what you guys wear around your wrist every single day or your dream bracelet. That's it for today's video. Shop JACOJE, and we will see you on our next jewelry video.